It's time, my friends, for another Devo tip on the Gospel of Isaiah. Who or what is discipling you most? Well, at some point, Isaiah gathered a lifetime of his prophetic canvases and arranged them into a magnificent presentation of the Gospel. The paintings in chapters 5 and 6 pose a question. Who or what is discipling you most? So God begins by saying this in chapter 5. What more was there to do for my vineyard that I have not done in it? God has given us his Son. He's invested everything. But good fruit is not automatic. We can produce rotten fruit because something else is discipling us. Something else is discipling us? Like what? Isaiah has a couple of ideas. Maybe it's retail discipleship. That sounds silly. Yet, what happens to us when shopping becomes our primary coping mechanism during times of stress or boredom? If we fill our empty moments buying more and more stuff, we will never think about the Lord or notice what he's doing, according to Isaiah. There's another kind of discipleship Isaiah mentions. I call it bread and circuses discipleship. What is this? Well, the Roman poet Juvenal coined the term bread and circuses to indicate how easily the masses could be distracted through the abundance of food and drink and endless entertainment. If we amuse ourselves to death, as Neil Postman says, by vaulting into a continuous incoherent present, our soul will starve to death and die of thirst. That's Isaiah 5:13. So Dana Allen, he poses a really good question. He says, could it be that we're being discipled far more by algorithms than by the Spirit of God? Are we being shaped by curated content from tech platforms rather than by embodied discipleship? Indeed, Jason Thacker agrees. He says, the biggest question for Christians in this algorithmic age, given what we know of the nature of our sin and our vulnerability to temptation, is not if these tools are shaping us, but rather if these technologies are transforming us to be more like Christ. So, what if we spent more time with the Lord that sits upon a throne, high and lifted up, as Isaiah saw him? We will join his heavenly council of seraphim in worship of the triune God. Holy, holy, holy is the Lord of hosts, and will also participate in God's mission, which is to fill the whole earth with his glory. Now you might think that being discipled by the King, the Lord of hosts, would cause instant death. Yeah, that's what Isaiah thought too. But instead, when we're discipled by the Lord, everything in our life will be redeemed as an extension of God's throne in heaven. You see, when King Jesus disciples you most, you'll overhear him asking his heavenly council, whom shall I send, and who will go for us? And you might wonder, are they all looking at me? They are. Yet, his voice is so tender, so loving, that you won't hesitate to say, I'll go to the moon and back for you, Jesus. Scrolling on Amazon or social media is not a sin. Binging on sports or Netflix, it's not a sin. Constantly checking the latest news about Trump or Taylor Swift sightings or Charlie Kirk assassination conspiracies, it's not a sin. Isaiah's just asking us, who or what is discipling you most?